Okay. You got it.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to a locked bowl of dude soup. You paid your $12, but it comes with a giant cover on it, and you gotta drink 18 other bowls of soup before you get to this one. There. It'll all make sense soon, I promise.
$12 for soup.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
What is this, Los Angeles?
It's close to... No, it's a galaxy far, far away, James. Booyah! Star Wars.
Soup Wars.
That's right. I'm your host, Lawrence, joined by three Star Wars experts, some panelists, if you will, market analysts. Adam, is over there.
I love the market.
The highest midichlorian count the galaxy's ever seen, at least one of them.
Yeah, Jar Jar.
Jar Jar, yes. And, but you can see James is seething, because number one Jar Jar enthusiast, James Willems, is also here.
Yeah, well, fun fact, Star Wars fun fact, the planet Naboo is actually a typo. It was supposed to say Jar Jar was the name of the planet.
Planet Jar Jar.
But it was a typo. George Lucas accidentally wrote Naboo. Started filmed the whole movie before remembering to change it. There you have Naboo.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Her story?
Gotta bring up some of that Elgot. Oh, boy. Oh, that bar. Hold on a minute.
Every time.
Yeah. Well, it changes, and I don't know, why are those guys just
Look
chilling?
at your bros.
Yeah.
They're ready to go, man. Look at them. They're ready to go.
Is this game finished?
So we're playing, yeah, they are. Look at them. They're moving. So we're playing Star Wars Battlefront II, which I have access to because I paid money. And this will become more important later, but I bought EA Access, so that gave me a 10-hour trial.
Can you turn down a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
It's very loud.
So you'll be hearing some laser pew-pews and stuff in the background. The comforting sounds of Star Wars. Also, the sound of cash registers is going crazy. Speaking of, this podcast is brought to you by two sponsors, Dollar Shave Club and Stitch Fix. You can get your Dollar Shave Club starter kit for only $5. It actually includes a number of fine hygienic products at dollarshaveclub.com/dude. And you can go to stitchfix.com/dudesoup to get 25% off your Stitch Fix box if you decide to keep all the items in it. But more information on those offers in a minute. First up.
I'm just going to hide here.
Yeah, so let me tab out real quick. I got to scroll down some.
That's fine. Do your story.
See my notes here. Star Wars games are dead, ladies and gentlemen. Dead. And that is not a knee-jerk reaction to... this map was in Battlefront 1. This is the DLC map.
No,
Anyway.
Jakku.
Yeah, it's a Jakku map. And that is not a... that's not a... I mean, yes, to some degree I am playing into the anger and hysteria over Battlefront 2 loot boxes and unlocks. I'll go through that in detail in a moment.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Sure.
I think you're justified this time.
Okay, well, all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of have a legacy on this show of maybe being anti-consumer or contrarian, I think is probably the nicer word for it. No longer. No, we are full sycophant mode today. I'll go through the details in a minute. It's not great. It certainly doesn't make me want to play the game. But even on top of that, some of the industry analysis about how we got here and like where the money's flowing and what that means and what Disney's corporate culture is, and all that stuff kind of adds up to a pretty bleak future for Star Wars games or licensed properties in general. I think what we're seeing with Battlefront 2 can also be linked to some of the stuff we've seen with Shadow of War or other kind of world-ending properties and how they interact with capitalism, basically.
At least with Shadow of War, though, Warner Brothers owns both Monolith and the property, the movie rights at least, for for Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
This one is EA secured a license similar to how they did it with Madden, where they probably paid a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
to get this thing.
Star Wars is so expensive. So yeah, Adam, you're onto something. That's a little more big picture. First, oh yeah, and then so after we get through all the kind of an explanation of where we are and how we got here, I'd like to offer you guys some tips about if you're sickened to death of all these loot boxes and loot crates and monetization schemes and all. There are some things you can do, and there are products you can enjoy that are out, and I think coming out in greater volume, but maybe not Star Wars specifically or anything like that. So let's talk about where we are now. How familiar are you guys with the current debacle about Star Wars or Battlefront 2 unlocks?
Well, all I really know is that they don't want me to see half of the features that they've put into the game because they think that I either have endless amount of money to spend on it and or an endless amount of time.
I woke up this morning and went to Imager, which is what I do every single morning, and they were all in a tizzy about the Darth Vader specifically unlock. and the response and the 250,000 downvotes.
Oh, it's more than that now.
On Reddit. It is. Oh, this morning.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Battlefront 2 is setting records, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good.
They
bad records?
they currently have the most downvoted post in all of Reddit history.
Wow.
Just their community manager, bless his heart.
The community account, yeah.
Our community. Well, yeah, there's a human there. I think.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, surely a human must have typed it out. But so here's where we are. Here's the situation as it stands. And actually, Adam, if you could let me borrow that controller
Go
there.
for it.
And I'm just took a ripe beating on Jakku.
I had 2 lives. I killed a man, and then it said I
Jacuzzer.
lost.
and said you are a loser.
I should say Jacuzzer.
Jacuz.
Charcuterie.
Now you get to see all these cool people. Good job, Alforma.
It's just the same
Almost
guy.
swept the whole fucking thing. Yeah, this has been my experience in Battlefront. Is that there's one player who's just a god on the battlefield.
Is it because he paid more money?
Potentially. From what I've seen, there are people who get a hero character and they're good at playing that hero, so they never die. They're just in-outs. They're doing one-offs and picks where they don't really lose much life.
Yeah.
They stay as a hero the entire match, and they run everything. So, okay. Here is what we're looking at. It's the collection screen on Battlefront 2. You can see some of these heroes are locked. Chewbacca's locked. Vader's locked.
How do you unlock them?
You do that with in-game currency, credits. So
Okay.
Vader takes 60,000 to unlock.
Okay.
How many do you have?
I have 1,550, and that's so you get credits through just game time spent.
Yes, it's maybe 6 hours of play. Would you say?
Well, so it amounts to something like 1,000 and change credits. And actually, somebody on Reddit did all the math, and I'll get to that in just a second.
Pardon me, 60 hours. I don't
Yeah,
know where I got
it's-
6 hours from.
I think it amounts to
don't
about
sleep
40 hours
anymore.
if you add everything. But so such Star Wars legends as Bosk are available to start.
Oh, of course. Everyone's favorite character from
Empire?
Jedi?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was part of the bounty hunters.
He was the
Oh.
bounty hunter crew.
Oh, I remember they looked at his feet.
Yep, basically. There's a really
God.
gnarly face
Hidden
looking Han
trash
Solo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what minor character? Who's the guy who's running around with the giant ice cream maker?
Daxon Biggs or whatever. I love that guy. Hold on.
God.
Bobson Dugnut.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's that guy's name?
Biggs and Wedge. Ice cream maker. Yeah,
He's even got like a Wilbur Hood. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
People cosplay as him.
Yeah, they do.
He's just a dude running around with an ice cream
Just
maker.
a guy with
around
an ice cream maker.
Bespin. Let's give him a game.
Sure, why not? So the problem is, 2 of the most notable characters in all of Star Wars, Luke
60
Skywalker and
hours.
Darth Vader, are both locked even if you bought the game, even if you bought the expensive version of the game, which is another way people are playing it now. If you buy the $80 version, you get early access. If you have EA access, you get early access, whatever. Palpatine, Leia, and Chewbacca are 40,000. Iden Versio, the main character of the single player, is 20,000.
Okay.
And here's how credit earning breaks down. You can't buy credits. You can buy crystals that let you get crates, and crates sometimes have credits in them. So you can't even drop money directly to unlock a character. You have to buy a thing which lets you buy a thing which lets you buy a random thing.
So unless you purchase that, you're averaging about 1,000 credits per hour played.
So a little
I would
more
say,
than that.
right?
Here
Well,
is
1,500 is kind of.
Reddit user
Easy
the
to have.
Kratos did an entire mathematical breakdown of everything costs and how long it would take to unlock. It's pretty impressive. The math basically checks out from what I've played. So there is one thing that he didn't account for, which is kind of fine. The game has challenges. So it's like, this is complete all the multiplayer milestones. This is play a match of Galactic Assault. You
You're
do that,
welcome.
you get a reward. I just got 500 credits for doing that thing. So there's only so many of those, though, and those are not factored into the unlocks because I think the presumption is you'll either use those unlocking the basic hero cards or that it's such an unquantifiable amount that it's not really factored in.
Right.
So by the math, oh boy.
Oh, wait, Chewbacca's locked out, right?
Yes.
And that last guy had Chewbacca. Yeah, he was pulling some shit.
Isn't there also hasn't EA Dice come out and said like this may currently just be the scheme for pre-release stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we set it high. I don't know if they made it, but that was like a theory that maybe they set it high
for
so
EA
that way
access.
by the time the game actually comes out, people don't have all these things.
Yeah, so
Right.
real quick, the estimates for heroes, there are 14 infantry heroes, 9 cards, and 9 starfighter heroes, 9 cards. Totals 207 cards. Cards are also like ability modifiers, and if you want to max them out. Anyway, upgrading these will take, require opening, blah, blah, blah. 126 hours to max out a single hero. Final cost, if you were to unlock everything in the game and level everything up, 600 credits, crate, oh my god. Okay, opening the 3,111 loot crates requires 248,880 crystals. If you only purchase 100 crystal packs, the cost is $2,100. let's see here. Grand total 324 cards, crafting parts. Requires opening a grand total of 4,528 hours of gameplay.
I have a business proposition for EA. We should do a new mode called Earlier or Earliest Access, and you just charge $2,000 for the game with everything unlocked.
Yeah. Guys, we're getting 4,200 hours of gameplay out of this game. I don't know why we're mad. Am I being facetious? I don't know.
So here there was a Reddit thread, and this is the reply, which has a negative 438,000 points, which is the most downvoted post in history, on a thread that says, seriously, I paid $80 to have Vader locked. So somebody paid the $80 to get the game early, opened it up to see that half the cast was locked. The community team writes, the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based on data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, while making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay.
Grind.
We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, on forums across, and whatever. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can.
It left out the part at the end where that person blows their brains out.
Oh yeah, that poor person.
Just say, of all the posts on the internet that are worthy of 400,000 downvotes, this milquetoast of all the mothers that have been told to have been fucked, all the just this is like, I mean, that's kind of a testament to humanity as well. This is what people choose.
So similar, people keep citing the there's the Better Business Bureau or whatever, they do that yearly worst company
review
award or whatever.
Okay.
EA keeps winning it.
EA has won it 2 times, but I remember seeing that's like EA. I remember winning being worst company in the world. They lost, however you want to say it, whatever, to Bank of America, who was part of like the 2008 like housing crisis and like probably
it's priorities.
Destroying what is like modern society.
Who spilled a bunch of oil into the ocean?
Yeah, but
whatever.
It speaks in volumes of how engaged the internet community is, especially around gaming, which gaming itself is an interactive thing. So it's sort of like, don't fuck with them.
I guess a $60 game is more accessible than somebody that would potentially be in that
someone
market
who
to buy a
lost
house.
everything because they bought 3 houses in Florida because they said it's cool.
Let's think of some things that are almost universally loved. Video games, Star Wars,
puppies.
And then let's make it an unsatisfactory experience for most people. Like it's like you're asking to be burned. The thing that blows my mind is who comes up with these models. These gameplay models blow my mind. I understand how you need to do something to make revenue as the thing goes on, but there's several other mobile game models, games that charge you nothing, that have figured out how to do this, right? Like, Adam and I play a game that'll give you Wolverine. Right from the beginning, you get Wolverine. Now, he's a lame vanilla version of Wolverine, not like the cool version of Wolverine that you have to play and maybe pay some money to eventually increase your odds of getting down the road. But like, you give them Wolverine. How do they think that people are going to boot this up and go, yeah, we'll let them play it for 1,000 hours before they even want to do Vader? Like, you have the statistics to know that someone will eventually do that, but most people won't get to enjoy that.
Well,
I don't understand.
The free-to-play always has the fallback of, well, you didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah.
Then you go, okay. So there's always there's a level of forgiveness.
That's what I'm saying there. Even though they charged you nothing for the game, they still know that you want these things. You want these most basic consumer enjoyments. How do they? Who
it
thinks
is
this
an
is
exorbitant amount of hours.
Just make like Dark Side Luke or something, right?
Yeah.
Like super rare, but then give him Luke. Give him dumb Luke before he even has a lightsaber, right? Give him Luke or something, and then give him Anakin as Hayden Christensen.
Right.
There's your Darth Vader.
Sure.
No, Harmonica Vader. Give him Harmonica Vader.
Harmonica Vader, yeah.
Billy Joel Vader.
But then you figure out other ways, new like anime Vader or something, like cool new takes on the characters that are badges of accomplishment that you can put on the battlefield. But you give him fucking Vader. I don't understand.
Right. It's just weird that someone in the meeting said, yeah, we can lock out gameplay elements or make certain make players stronger. Like, and no one said, is that going to drive away people who paid this game and potentially would want to spend money on a skin?
Oh, I'm sure that came up.
I think that's so weird that
This is probably how the conversation went. It's
I-
evaluation of what they lose by doing this versus what they stand to gain.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee you they knew it would be a problem. They knew from their most engaged and core audiences they would hate it. But they're not operating in that realm anymore. And this is something that I'll get to a lot later, but the math at play is so far beyond... It's so far beyond the people that get mad in a Reddit thread. Maybe not now. Maybe it is actually hitting that point where the core audience is starting to speak to the broader audience, and they're kind of connecting on certain things.
I think there's also just certain things you can do with the game. Like, maybe I'm naive, but don't have Vader and Luke be block 3 and 4 on the HUD.
Right at the top.
Right? Like,
Sure.
Like, we've been playing a lot of Super Mario Odyssey. Now, granted, the game does ask for your time if you're searching for moons and everything like that. But every time you get like another 15 moons, it goes, something's unlocked in the store. And it'll be a new suit or a new hat or whatever, right? And you can gather tons and tons of moons, and it's constantly saying new things. It's not saying you are 500 moons away from unlocking Waluigi's costume, and it shows Waluigi blocked out with like a thing. Like, it doesn't show you that. It just goes, hey, here's a new thing. It just showed up. Like, why don't you do that? Why don't you just get rid of it from the UI?
Oh, it's even worse than you think, James.
Okay, I'm sure it is.
It's in the collection screen. Every time you spawn, it shows you all the things that you can play as.
A constant reminder.
Yeah, and so the way the game works is you play and you get points for shit you do, killing people, defending points. You spend those points on spawning in as a specialty character, either a super rebel man with a jetpack or a hero.
Yeah.
And yes, on this screen,
Yep, there he
you can
is.
see all of the heroes every time you spawn.
Look what you can't have.
Yeah, and even if you
Wow.
played well enough in the game, you cannot be that character.
It's such a stupid idea. My only thing is, I feel bad for all the flack that the developers are getting.
6-inch,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
'cause
a lot
they-
of people
they
like
made a beautiful game.
Yeah,
And
I was just
a lot
going
of
to
the
bring
times
this up.
They're not responsible for any of those
Sure,
things.
because regardless of how ridiculous this is and this purported model is, the reaction by a lot of people is just like disgusting. It's just
So-
disgusting. One of the developers tweeted out today.
Got that
and
here.
Is
It's
the 7 death threats and
This is,
you shouldn't be doing
yeah,
death
like,
threats over a video game.
This is Sean, or his Twitter
Yeah.
handle is BigSean66. Quote, so I'm up to 7 death threats and over 1,600 individual personal attacks now. And yes, for legal reasons, I'm keeping track. And why, you might ask? Because of an unpopular feature in a game.
Is that the guy who called everyone an armchair developer?
That is something else. No,
Oh god, that was something else.
Yeah,
that was a community
uh,
manager, right?
I'm pretty sure he's community. His bio didn't say, and I didn't really have time to really dig into his work, but he does work for EA. That there was a quote.
I like
a
quotes.
tweet. Excuse me. The armchair developers on this internet. Period.
Yeah, that was it.
Matt Everett, this gentleman's name. He later tried to walk it back. Quote: my tweets earlier had nothing to do with community remarks or topics within or about Star Wars Battlefront II. I made a tweet about a general thing, and people claim I am speaking about my game's community complaints. Hashtag disheartening, hashtag frustrated. Sorry to those who think it was about Star Wars. Continues, I removed those tweets as hordes of angry gamers were being told I was speaking about them or upset. I get that, but someone misinterpreted my tweet. I again apologize for that, but it was not my intent. Trust me, I'm at bat for this community and game/franchise I love.
All right.
That seems a little far-fetched. I mean, there
Yeah.
was really no other.
Yeah.
I mean, so people are armchair developers on the internet. Yeah, sure.
He was talking about Medal of Honor.
I mean, fucking, they're armchair doctors that diagnose us every time we say our elbow hurts.
Yeah.
That stuff kind of happens. One, don't say that stuff. That was Matt. You could be a cool dude, but that was kind of dumb, man. Angry Joe did defend him though. Angry Joe said, quote, I saw some angry Reddit post Sledgehammer70, guys lay off. That's his Twitter handle, by the way. Don't know what his tweet was referring to, but Matt is one of the good ones at EA. He cares about our feedback and has helped me get in front of the developers multiple times when he didn't have to. Good dude. So, there you go. Mr. Joe Vargas vouching for the quality of this gentleman's character. But yes, at least I absolutely agree. I think it's fine to love Star Wars. It's fine to want a Star Wars video game the way you want it. It's not fine to personally insult or even threaten someone's health or safety because you're mad that you can't play as Darth Vader.
Just even like hearing it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just
Perspective is
The thing that I want to impress is, though, that is the clear, super minority. A lot of people, I think, are justifiably and fairly constructively. He's trying to kill a little.
sorry.
I think people are kind of
Sorry,
pointing
audio
out
listeners.
there are better ways to do unlock systems. There are better ways to message. There are better ways to unveil these systems. And if this is all just EA trying to feel out what they can get away with,
Yeah.
and I think that's kind of what it is. then maybe there's got to be a way to message that or something.
Well, maybe
Maybe you
also-
don't experiment on the people who are giving you the most money.
I was gonna say, don't experiment on the biggest, most forefront. Like, here's my metaphor, right?
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams and Disney were like, let's make a new Star Wars movie. And someone went, a new Star Wars movie? And they went, yeah, we're gonna make a new Star Wars, a new trilogy. We're gonna start over, building on this old franchise. And you go, well, that's kind of risky, don't you think? They're like, don't worry about it. We're just gonna exactly mimic something that we already know is successful. Hence, Force Awakens,
Yeah.
right? Let's just pull that. If we know these beats work in this universe, let's do that. It's so weird that it feels like they're trying new things in something that is the video game equivalent of that movie, right? Literally, it's the intellectual property. But it blows my mind. Make a mobile game. Release a Star Wars mobile game.
Maybe
See
they
if you can-
did.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah, maybe they have been.
I guarantee you, it probably
experimenting.
has a better unlock system than this.
It absolutely does. Actually, Galaxy of Heroes unlock system is pretty similar to Marvel Puzzle Quest.
Yeah.
That there are multiple versions of every character. You can get some of the film favorites pretty quickly, but then it's got a really prolonged grinding leveling system.
I'll concede to the people who actually, by the way, have to work on the game, not the people who are trying to figure out how to turn it into a cash register. Takes a lot more work to model, rig, integrate into the game system a Luke Skywalker character than it does to put key art on a card that has to just spin and then land on your screen with an effect, when you unlock it in a mobile game. But still, you have to find some sort of compromise for this.
Well, it's frustrating. But what I've seen is that not only they're locking out characters, but there are gameplay buffs, which are
Yes.
As I've been playing multiplayer games more and more, and now actually less and less, I usually am dissuaded or whatever, or I move away from the game if there's someone more powerful than me, and I go, well, what's the fucking point? Because the matchmaking is so fucked up.
God, I'm terrified out here.
I don't know why they don't.
Just grunt.
I don't know why we haven't figured this part out yet. A good example, I think, of a game that does this well is Destiny. We've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 the last few weeks, and you'll get into a game and a guy. It's fairly balanced. Netcode's a little wonky sometimes for Crucible, but there will be a guy who has the meta multi-tool, right?
Yeah.
And you just keep getting decimated by. You're like, what the god damn it! It's not unlocked behind a paywall. You don't give the game more money. You go on a quest and you find this gun. You grind for it, like the same way the guy did before you, and then you have it now, and then you're, destroying people with this gun. And that to me is like, okay, there are more powerful weapons. There's more powerful abilities in the game, but they're attainable and they're not behind a paywall. This to me is just kind of a joke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also weird too because there's a game that came out not too long ago where the opposite. It was like such an opposite situation where you just if you just run backwards from where you spawn, you can grab a thing and then you're Luke Skywalker.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Right? And so they're like, we fixed it. Now you can't. No one can be Luke Skywalker.
They did a different system, which I don't know if it's better. Now it's you get points for things that you do, and if you do the things really well, you can spend those points on better characters, and you basically save it up, and then you can be Darth Maul at the end.
Yeah.
And I think the pacing is actually really well done from what I played in the beta. I haven't played the new version, so it is better though than I got the token first. Fuck you.
You were not committing to the battle. You weren't helping anybody, and thus you get to be rewarded as this cool character.
Yeah.
That contributes to the escalation of a multiplayer match too. So the design is actually pretty solid.
Which I think
it starts off.
it's from the original Battlefront II, right?
Did it have a point system like
I
that?
thought it was. I thought it was you have to get a certain amount of points, and then you can then play as Mace Windu
spawn
or whatever.
as-
It's been so long, but I think that's what it was like.
Get out of there. Oh.
There were no holograms on the field.
Yeah.
They were just spinning ooh, a TIE fighter.
Yeah. It just blows my mind how this whole thing came about.
I mean, it's competing with Madden, FIFA. It's competing with all these games that you're just bringing in billions of dollars, and
I'm glad you brought that
they're
up. Elise.
trying to make these structures to compete, but it's just not the same game.
You can still
Or is it?
for
Maybe
FIFA
Star Wars
though,
Sports?
you can still go into a game mode and play as Messi. Right?
Yeah.
You still can. You just may not get the triple platinum messy card for your online card game FIFA roster or whatever, right? Like, it looks like they isolated that out of what they believe to be the integral game mode of the system. It's weird. I mean, Battlefront seems like it's built around no one wants to be a stormtrooper. No one wants to be a grunt on the ground. It sucks. It's garbage. You get blown up in 2 seconds, right? So you play as a stormtrooper to work for the opportunity to be something else.
Right.
When they take away the option for you to be something else that you actually want to be, I don't understand how they expect players to keep coming back unless they really think people are going to throw, 4,000 hours in?
And I mean, it is the only game in town. There's that aspect. If you love Star Wars,
only
it's
Star
not
Wars
just
game.
jumping
That's
off.
true. Which is not exactly that's a very much monetary, like, business decition, which
Yeah.
I understand.
At least that's single player.
So, sorry to interrupt, but we do have one box that won't let you down. Always gives you value for your money, and that's the Dollar Shave Club starter box.
Boom.
$5, which actually is way cheaper than any of the crates in Battlefront 2. I think you can
good.
actually buy crystals for $5.
They should put that on the box.
Yeah, you don't get nearly the return on investment you do with Dollar Shave Club. The kit comes with shave butter, body cleanser, butt wipes, the One Wipe Charlies, which are wonderful. If you've never treated your anal opening to a nice refresher of mint,
Going in.
you owe it to yourself. And you can do that for only $5, and you get that and more. You get the executive razor, like a pack of 4 razor heads. It's actually a pretty ridiculous deal to just give you a little sample of all the sanitary items that Dollar Shave Club can provide. Hair, face, skin, shower, everything. Your entire bathroom can become a wonderland of delightful cleaning products with wonderful scents. Just go to dollarshaveclub.com/dude, and you get the starter kit for $5. That's razor, wipes, body cleanser, shave butter, which is actually great. It's clear, so you can get a pretty precise shave. If you're worried about not having your sideburns the right length, worry no longer. Once more, that's dollarshaveclub.com/dude for a great package of cleaning products. I finally used one of those One Wipe Charlies, and it was an experience. I felt like I was being pampered. Yes, that's the word I would use.
James and Liz got me on that train.
Oh,
Works.
wipes?
Yeah.
It does.
You can't get off.
You haven't lived until you've had a clean asshole all day. All day. So thank you, Dollar Shave Club, for the sponsorship. It's and at least on this podcast, we're 100% explicit about where our money comes from. So yes, we are heroes.
Or are we?
So you guys are starting to hit on the business implications of it. And I have some notes here about how this happened. And basically where we... Oh, Jesus.
The game heard us talking
Yeah, they
shit.
found us. They found us out. I mean, try to go back to multiplayer. Maybe it's just a one thing.
You can do the Starfighter
I guess we can always do arcade. Yeah, there's also ships. All right, so EA signed an exclusive deal back in 2013 with Disney. The terms were not disclosed, so we don't know how much money EA had to pay for that license, but it was probably a shitload of cash.
Or how much blood.
How much blood? Yes.
Virgin blood.
How many EA developers had to die to bring you Battlefront 2? Damn it! Didn't it just load? Nah, whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
So in the meantime, since then, Disney has done some things in the gaming space that I think portray or paint a picture of how they view the space and the kind of revenue expectations they have for the space. Which is to say that they haven't done a single thing yet in games that they found that earned them enough money.
They keep shutting down game studios.
That's the thing. They completely closed Interactive Studios, which was all of their video game development. They closed Disney Infinity, which was still earning money when they closed it, but not enough. They closed Visceral Games, or rather EA closed Visceral Games that was in the process of making a Star Wars single-player game. I'm going to presume because there was no way that game was on projections to make nearly the amount of cash EA needed it to make to justify the amount of money they paid for Star Wars. So I think that constructs a bit of a narrative that Disney as a company expects their revenues to be of a certain threshold, which is the best in the world. If they are making a product, they want to own it. They want to own everything around it. So they're not going to make a movie if they're not making the #1 movie in the world. They're not going to make a game unless it's the #1 game in the world, and that is defined by revenue, at least as far as I can tell from Disney's standpoint. Granted, there is also a creative aspect to it. They're not just shitting out, they could shit out movies, but they try to make them good. But they also expect those things to perform, and if they don't, they get closed. So now, because of that, I expect EA paid a massive amount of money for the Star Wars license, expecting that exclusivity would drive a lot of money to them. I think Battlefront did drive an amount of money, but not enough, which is prompting them to be a lot more vicious internally about the projects they greenlight and the monetization hooks in those projects. Let's see here.
Yeah, they're kind of caught in a catch-22 because it was the sort of thing where Battlefront 1 lukewarm reception to an extent, and obviously didn't make as much money as they wanted to. So now with 2, it's like it's an opportunity to have a better reception, critical reception, but this is definitely going to mar people's experiences with the game.
Lukewarm.
Which is, it's a shame too, because if you had told me,
it says Battlefront hit 14 million. That's circa May 2016.
wait, sold 14 million units?
Yeah,
Damn.
which is a lot, but
Oh.
I still don't think that's what they were hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Battlefront 2 will probably sell more.
That's insanity.
Yep.
To think to dump that much money into something to think you're not going to be like, well, I hope we make our money back. And then why do the deal?
I mean, it's
Why?
a $300 million movie or something.
People get blindsided by
Yeah.
Star Wars as well.
Yeah,
They
it's
think that it
crazy.
is.
And on paper, you're like, Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, they think that it's a carte blanche for revenue,
Yeah,
and
it's gonna
in some
put
degrees it
money.
is.
I just bought you a crate.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Whatever.
See what you
Come on,
got.
got a blue
Luke,
thing.
Luke.
We're looting you guys. Oh, speeder.
Hey, you got a Luke Skywalker.
I got Kylo Ren's
Harsh pull.
Harsh pull.
Actually, I think
What
that's
is
pretty rare. I think it's 5% drop rate for those. Whatever, who cares? And
How many
then,
credits?
it? I'm the best.
so just to put things in perspective, because when I'm hearing myself say it, it sounds like bullshit. That like 14 million is not enough. It is enough, but not for EA, not for Disney. Let me make that clear. I'm not saying that like they're starving. This is greed to the extent that every company needs to earn as much money as they can in the space they're in. That's just how the system works. So this was November 1st, by the way. So this is before all this stuff blew up. This is a post on CNBC. Electronic Arts put out their Q4 guidance, which is say, here's all the money we expect to make in Q4. And it was lowered. It was like 5% lower than it was originally estimated to be. And there was some commentary from market analysts that accompanied that announcement, and a bit of a stock dip, not much. By the way, a lot of people are attributing that to the current controversy. This stuff happened like a week and a half ago. This is from Baird analyst Colin Sebastian. Quote, despite raising fiscal year 2018 guidance, investors may focus on below consensus fiscal third quarter EPS estimates, reflecting some expense timing shifts and lower margin licensed titles such as Star Wars. And then another analyst, quote, if Star Wars can encourage users to spend real money on virtual goods like FIFA, the game could drive meaningful upside to fiscal year 2018 and 19 EPS, but this is not a certainty. So even if your perception as a gamer is that this is stupid and EA would have made enough money just selling it without all these hooks, the analysts and the money put it more on stuff like FIFA, whereas an internally owned thing like FIFA can just make shitloads of cash, and they also have a lock on that license too. By signing an exclusive deal, it seems pretty clear to me that EA wanted to convert Battlefront into being one of those evergreen, just cash cow properties like FIFA Ultimate Team, and this is how they're trying to do it, or it's a way that they're trying to angle on it. Oh, geez.
It's a shame they have to do it with a. What's up?
So I just saw this. Hold on a sec. You're gonna
Breaking
get shot
news.
a
Is this
little bit.
breaking news?
This is breaking news.
Oh my god.
Change of constant in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Since the start of the project, we were listening to you, blear, 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 blear.
Oh, this is officially from EA.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Making games cause regular tuning, blear, blear, blear. So we're reducing the amount of credits needed to unlock top heroes by 75%. Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader will now be available for 15,000.
There you go.
For
They had
10.
no idea what they.
Item for 5.
I don't know. You don't make a 75% change. They're like based on our calculations in the base. No, someone just threw out a number.
Yeah.
They had a
Like a toaster prints out a scroll and they go, oh, we gotta change this.
Well, so think about it this way, though.
I heard the podcast.
It's a safe bet,
watching.
and this may have been the play the whole time, is that we'll start high. We'll start really high.
Right.
See
And
how they react.
Yeah, test the market resilience. And if it's too high, we can always adjust it down, and then we get to play it off like we're listening and we're paying attention and we care. meanwhile, it was all just a play to see if they could maintain the higher price point in the first place.
I don't know, guys. I think we still march.
What are they gonna? Well, what are they gonna do for that one dude?
Yeah, who already spent a shitload of money.
Who like
paid
almost
$80
died in a cyber cafe in the last 3 days trying to figure out how to cram 4,500 hours in
Whatever,
3
man.
days.
Here's a free copy of the Ewok Adventures.
Anyway, thank you,
Yeah.
Parker Dew for that hot tweet.
Thank you.
It's so. Like I said at the beginning, I personally have the tendency to be like, y'all people bitch too much when it comes to games and stuff. But I think this situation was kind of justified, and God, I wish it didn't take the uprising of an entire like subreddit.
There's
group
so many
of
more
people.
important things.
So much there's so much strength on the internet.
I know
that it was
people
that-
mobilized for a proper cause.
Yeah, Star Wars is important.
They do that too. I'm not here to shame people for getting mad about Star Wars.
Extra life?
I just
What was
yeah.
yeah.
$1.2 million.
I
Thank
mean,
you guys.
yeah.
By the way.
It's just I hate when it's a
It's just fun.
negative reinforcement. But can
It's
I
fun.
ask? Do you happen to know? I know the second most downvoted post in history was 25,000 downvotes.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know, just out of curiosity, what it was?
Yes.
there's-
Got
okay.
that right here.
Yeah.
There's
There's a subreddit called Data is Beautiful,
Oh.
and someone actually mapped it out of
yeah.
what the top 10 most downvoted were.
I've got this. Is this what you're looking at?
That could work too.
So 25,000. Somebody on MeIRL just asked to be downvoted, and everybody,
Okay.
Okay. That's a fun
everybody,
one.
A stunt.
This will work. League of
everybody went onto it. So MeIRL, and then somebody just posted a down finger and got negative 25.
Nice.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay, but which one
There you
like deserved it?
Yeah. What?
Uh,
'Cause the next one's the
Oh.
League of Legends.
League of
post.
Legends,
So
yeah.
Gen Gaming.
somebody
I guess
said some
it's
shit
one.
about a League of Legends player,
Oh.
and then
Damn.
What if that's your legacy?
Yeah.
but somebody was basically like, "Yo, I'm just speaking as a person. I don't speak on behalf of Riot." And I don't know, everybody dogpiled.
Okay.
Political views from Jill
Okay.
Stein and IAMA, which is pretty nice. See, now that's. Oh yeah, I remember this one. I remember reading this.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I remember downvoting this.
Well, I remember reading it and being like, "You got some weird thoughts, Jill Stein." All right.
No. All right.
Ooh, console, get out
Can I
of
ask you guys a question?
there. Sure.
Of course.
If EA made his Funhaus game, who would be the
Luke
Skywalker.
Skywalker.
unlockable? who would be the locked characters?
Probably-
Say Matt
probably-
Peak.
Benson,
Oh,
because
Benson.
they know
probably.
people want that.
Benson would be
Yeah.
Vader. Peak probably be Luke
EA
Skywalker.
Yeah. EA is not ever going to make a game about
All of us sitting here would be available from launch.
Let me. Well,
But
we
then
can.
the actual characters that people wanted would be behind the paywall.
There's some other kind of cooler, less heady topics, but I guess sadly the thing I take away from this, and this is kind of depressing, is that a property like Star Wars, the way it operates in our capitalist society, there's no reason for anyone to make a game that's not like this about Star Wars. Why would you make a kind of game that has any kind of lower earning potential than you could possibly make with it?
Sure.
Because it is the
maybe.
biggest property,
Yeah.
so why not shoot for morality out the window, shoot for the thing that earns the most money?
Because you want to retain your user base. You want to please your user base.
Only to the extent that it earns you more money, though.
I guess my take on all of this doesn't seem like the most efficient way. But I mean, maybe it's maybe I'm underestimating, but
mean,
it just
the
seems
math.
it just seems like
EA Ultimate Team earned, what, $1 billion?
yeah, but this doesn't seem like that. That seemed like that was about collection.
But what if it was about
This seems too
Yeah.
reliant on gameplay
I
and
see what
like
you mean.
in how you play the game, not necessarily how you gather all the like. There's not enough there for people to be like, I can't stop playing until I get Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. The reward system isn't there. The psychological reward system isn't
yeah,
there.
it doesn't feel like a true gathering of like
Juggalos.
stuff. But I don't know. It's weird. I'm almost like disappointed that this is what they came up with as a method of getting our money. I don't know. It makes me,
and trying to get you to play the game, trying to get you to have longevity in the game.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
that's the goal too, is to get you to invest those hours so they can put out their press release and say we had so many thousands and thousands of hours clocked in Star Wars Battlefront. It's
Yeah.
to justifying those metrics and kind of making you a slave to the game in a sense in this
Yeah.
in this respect. But it looks like people are not falling for it,
Like,
and we're getting those cutbacks 75%.
Yeah, whoop up, we did it, everybody.
yeah, I know. Well,
For the heroes.
Except the unlock system is still there.
yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
they just shifted the numbers.
Yeah.
And it's I think to your guys' point about retaining players, they're gonna they don't have to put out a product and walk away. They can tweak the knobs at any point in the game's life cycle to try and keep people playing and keep siphoning money out.
Support the game. Create events weekly. New events every few weeks.
That's the nice way to do it.
There's so many games that effectively do that.
I can only assume those are way more expensive.
Yes.
But I think you take something like Triple Triad, right, from Final Fantasy VIII, and you just throw it in to a game mode.
They got that in Final Fantasy 14 now.
I'm just saying, you just like throw in something that's in addition to, because that's what they didn't make
It's
it
like
so
a
that way you have
minigame.
to unlock things in FIFA to play as your favorite teams.
The thing is, it's expensive, but it's fucking Star Wars, a game that should be supported. Like, you have an existing user base of millions of Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Blizzard supports Overwatch with seasonal events and new unlocks and shit. Like,
They could have a Life Day celebration.
well, it's just.
I mean,
EA has tons of money. They have a huge install base. Being Star Wars fans, just like support the game ongoing. Make it. That's how you're gonna have your retention. That's how you're gonna have your ongoing interest. You can do it, EA.
My only concern with that is, from what we've heard about how like these things work, they want to do a Christmas Star Wars event where instead of trying to destroy all the drones on Hoth, you're trying to light a Christmas tree. Now all of a sudden
that sounds wonderful.
I know, but now they have to get the Christmas tree approved by Disney.
Well, 'cause they're gonna say-
And
Disney
they
goes, this
gotta
is not
unfreeze him.
this
Life
tree.
Day tree.
Well, this tree would not exist in the Star Wars universe. That the other. So by the time
Santa's a bounty hunter. It's
so they have to
whole
plan it
thing.
now to be able to land for Christmas next year. I don't know. I can only assume there's stuff like that. I just think
I-
there's
I
maybe
agree
easier
with
things to
you.
do where you just mimic it. If FIFA makes so much money, have the game Star Wars. You could play the game and then throw something else that's right below. It goes multiplayer. This is the order in which people use things. Multiplayer, Triple Triad Star Wars card game, and then single player. And then you just have that in there.
I'm just glad that Bruce wasn't here. That we've gotten this issue resolved 75% before. It's.
Oh yeah, we fixed
Yeah,
it
we
for
did
him.
it for him.
Yeah.
Bruce, wherever you are, buddy, we're pulling for you.
We're saving Star Wars.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, again, what my conceit is, I don't have the solution. I think the saddest part about all this is that if people are really that upset and the game ends up not doing well, and then Disney through EA has very strict guidelines for everything, the people that'll lose their jobs are the ones who were genuinely working really hard on trying to make sure that you
Yup.
felt like you were in the Star Wars universe when you were playing the game. Probably not the handful of executives and financial officers who were sitting in an office dreaming up a scenario where they could spend the least amount on it and then force people to play the most.
It sucks because you would think when Battlefield 3 and 4 came out and they showed like what DICE was doing with the Frostbite engine and how good they made it, and if you had told someone they're working on a Star Wars game, which they eventually did, you're like, what a perfect combination, wow. And then when you do these microtransactions and these sorts of things that put all these things behind a paywall, it sort of shits on all the work they did.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, wow, what a gorgeous game. How I mean, to probably some of Disney's credit too, for them being really tight on the lore and all this other stuff, it feels like a true to life Star Wars game. This is probably the most, I would say, immersive like Star Wars game. This is all from the beta, not what we've done here. Like, I didn't really feel like Kylo Ren right there when he just jumped through.
But he was flipping around.
But when we did like the Naboo levels, and there's just leaves going everywhere, and it is like we played on PC too, and it's just like
This is what Fallen
gorgeous
Naboo
fucking
would
game.
feel like.
Yeah,
Not meant to be
Like, this stuff is awesome.
called Naboo.
yeah. I don't know what those are. I guess that's lore.
I wanted to get to a point where they do like a hero shooter with Star Wars. So you don't have to worry
Interesting.
about playing as droids.
Yeah.
You just Luke. You play as Luke. He's got a certain set of abilities. You play as Darth Vader, and then you it's like, again, like Overwatch, or even maybe like Titanfall.
Yeah.
Where there could be other bots in there and everything, but
I'm glad they're doing the new trilogy stuff with Ryan Johnson when they announced that they're going to do something completely separate. And that sort of reminds me of like the old Republic games when BioWare, I'm pretty sure they were like, hey, Lucas, we want to make a game. And it's like, okay, well, we don't want you to do anything.
With this.
Yeah. Well, they're like, there's this comic series called The Old Republic, and you just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, seriously, like, there are no other characters. You don't have to worry about mixing in with the movies or anything. It's 5,000 years before. And you're like, that's actually what I'm kind of hopeful for future Star Wars stuff.
Can bone.
Anyone can bone.
Anyone if they want.
That's what Lucas keeps saying. They all bone.
Well, if you want
Just let 'em bone.
we have yet another Loot Crate service for you that is guaranteed to surprise and delight, and that is Stitch Fix. So Stitch Fix is a closed by mail service, but it's tailored. So essentially, when you fill out your profile, you'll go in and put in all your measurements, and then you'll basically like do a cool little quiz to sort of determine what your tastes are, what kind of fashion you like. So you're like, oh, I like that button up, not so into that polo.
What kind of dad are you?
Yeah, basically.
They do ask that.
You can be a future dad.
Uh-huh.
And then you're assigned a custom stylist that will pick out clothes for you. And then they'll send you a box with all of those items in it, up to 5 items. And then you just keep the ones you want. You send the ones you don't back. They'll bill you for the ones that you keep. And then if you want, you can order another one. And as time goes by what you keep and by a little survey you can either choose to fill out or not, you can leave little notes. And then over time, your stylist will grow to understand the kind of clothes you want, the kind of fits you like, the kind of colors you like. And then it'll get more and more accustomed to you as you continue to use the service. It's pretty cool. It's like clothes in the future, where somebody far more talented than I can dress me. I can look pretty good, and I don't have to see anyone. The internet's great that way. So you can get great styles and modern looks right to your door without having to go to a store and make it known that you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm speaking from experience, by the way. This is not an indictment of the audience, merely just a reflection of my failures as a sartorial individual. You can get started now at stitchfix.com/dudesoup, and you get a 25% discount if you decide to keep all the items in your box. So, it just may shake out to where you wanted to keep all 4, but those socks, maybe you didn't want the socks, but if you keep them, it actually ends up being cheaper, so you get socks and a discount. Good stuff. Once more, that's stitchfix.com/dudesoup. Thanks for the sponsorship. Thanks for the service. I think I'm about due. I usually get one every couple of months, because it can be a little pricey, but, good things are pricey. So it's not necessarily an every weekend kind of thing, but I think it's about time. I think it's about time to order another one.
They
get some winter looks.
I got that nice sweater from them, and I was worried because I wore it with the sleeves rolled up, and it felt like it was getting...
Oh, like kinked?
It was expanding too much.
Crimped?
It was weird. I washed it, threw it in the dryer for a little bit, it fixed itself. Ooh. It's like a magic sweater.
Drying sweaters can be dangerous.
I'm glad I know. It worked out.
I'm glad it turned out okay.
Yeah, no, I look great.
With hiccups this morning.
Uh-oh.
And they went away for a little bit, now they're back.
Is this the time when everybody... I imagine every viewer immediately tried to suggest their home-cooked remedy for hiccups.
You guys have to help me get rid of my hiccups right now.
By scaring you.
So
problem is I know that...
boy. Sorry. That was my bad. I want to offer some amount of advice to... If you're out there and you hate loot boxes, you hate microtransactions, you hate games as service type stuff, you don't have to play these games. If you want to play Star Wars, you probably don't have a choice, which is kind of why the games in the way that you want them, as far as Star Wars is concerned, that ship may be well sailed.
Do you feel like the response EA just put out right now is enough to salvage it, or is there so much locked out that it's not enough?
For me, I wasn't gonna. This is gonna sound weird. I wasn't gonna play Battlefront for the multiplayer anyway. No. I'm into the campaign and maybe the co-op stuff. I'll play with my girlfriend. Yeah. I might play an hour or two of multiplayer, but it's not. This isn't my thing.
No.
It's so chaotic and so wild and random, and yeah, the unlocked stuff does not help at all. So whatever.
Yeah.
I would pay $60 for a campaign, and it's got it in there.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who likes single player, more crafted challenges than just throwing you up against a shitload of other dudes who've been playing this game way longer than I have, I'm in it for that. And actually, so they give you the first three level. You get to play the first 3 levels through EA Access, and I did that. I really enjoyed it. I'm waiting for the game to come out so I can play the rest of it. But I'm not into this unlock thing, and I'm not that consumer and never was. That's a whole other class of people who play games.
It feels like there's so many other options out there.
That's the other thing. So in terms of those other options, I have a few recommendations. If you want a single player experience or even a multiplayer experience that doesn't do unlocks in this way, here's a little list I jotted down, and these are all or mostly 2017 releases. There's Hellblade, Echo, Dusk, Wolfenstein 2, Persona 5, Mario Odyssey, Neo, Nier Automata, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Final Fantasy 15. Those are all games that offer great single-player or continuing experiences that don't have such kind of a weird and just soul-sucking criteria for unlocking new stuff. So there you go.
What about Call of Duty World War II?
That's fine too.
Open your box with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, you can still see some evidence in that where, there's a social space, and there are like challenges geared around watching other people open loot crates. That's kind of weird.
It's crazy. But there's a crazy, crazy fucking world we've created.
Yeah.
Just go with
But
It's our fault.
there is a tier of game dev where people are still putting out products that don't suck your entire life away. I was thinking about this, how there is a whole class of game that is engineered to burn time in the least obvious ways. To me, Ubisoft is kind of particularly guilty is a tough word, but they've certainly pioneered the mini-map choked with stuff
Yeah.
kind of game.
Shanties.
Yeah.
Other shanties.
Yeah. And it's not that any of those tasks are uniquely entertaining, unique, or original. It's just that there are lots of them. And that somewhere there's a menu that tells you
Try to jump.
somewhere there's a menu that tells you exactly how many of those stuffs you have yet to do and how many you have done.
I can't do that. So, like the way you guys talk about moons in Mario scares me.
That's different though.
It's fun.
Moons are just
Yeah.
the best thing about Mario is that moons are just a byproduct of exploring the world. Like 90% of the time, you're getting moons that you're not hunting for. It's such a it's a weird thing, and I do. There's a point where you can get moons on your map. I almost prefer it not to be. You know, you're gonna run into moons if you're just exploring the world. You know, and that's one of my favorite things about that game, as opposed to kind of like Lawrence is saying, the Ubisoft map games. You know, like I started Horizon Zero Dawn, which I know is not a Ubisoft game, and within the first 5
That is a
minutes
map
it's
game.
just like there's a map and it's covered in stuff, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know it means anything. It's so many different levels of collection.
Well, it's weird because the conversation. Sometimes people will just kind of conversationally ask me, you know, what about this game? Do you think it's a failure? And I'm like, well, it came out 2 months ago, and maybe nobody's talking about it now, but that doesn't make it a failure. And the mentality seemed to shift from a game is fun and it was worth the money I paid for it, therefore it's a good product, to I can't play this until I die, therefore it's a bad product. Games like Overwatch and stuff kind of set the bar really high in terms of like value you can derive for the money invested, especially since you can theoretically unlock things in the game without spending a cent, and those things don't have any gameplay implications. Ooh! Oh.
I ran right past him.
So it's weird because the times are shifting to like, oh, you got bashed by a stormtrooper.
I thought you were always just taken away, like your breath was taken away of like how many times you died.
His breath
It
taking.
is.
They're trying to get her, cure her hiccups.
I have the dumbest way of curing hiccups.
What's
And
that?
I think it only works for me, but it is the drinking water
Oh,
upside
yeah.
down. I don't know why that works.
If you stand in a doorway, if you're able to reach like the top of the door jamb or whatever, nice job. And then you stretch out your diaphragm while exhaling. Because like, the big thing is that a hiccup is your diaphragm spazzing out, right? Seizing or whatever. So you do that to stretch it, and then hopefully you can get it to a point. It doesn't work every time, but that's what seems to work for me, is really focusing mentally on the muscle that is causing it to happen.
Elise has the most unique sounding hiccups I've ever heard in my life.
Like a bunny rabbit.
Because
Oh no, I am
typically
gasping at the game.
It's that.
Yeah.
That's kind of more of a hiccup. It sounds like a ghost is taking your child away.
Like I'm being possessed.
Not to make fun, but I'm making fun.
It's cute.
I'm sorry.
Back to the ocean.
It's like a
robot
squirrel
squid.
hiccuping.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you guys shed a tear? So let's presume. Oh, there's Bosk again. This is every fucking game, by the way. Somebody gets a hero, they hang on to it, and then they sweep the entire.
Classic Bosk.
He's a monster.
Man, what a balanced.
You got 200 credits for that whole match.
I didn't do shit.
So
I
let's
didn't do anything either.
let's presume, for the sake of argument, that my prediction is correct. I mean, we don't have to presume. But let's presume that the system, such as it is, there's no reason for a game dev to make a game about a big property like this without all this crappy monetization hookery in it. Are you guys upset that they're? Do you guys shed a tear for like big budget AAA games based on big properties? Are you bummed that there will never be?
I mean,
1313?
again, my sympathies always go more to the people that worked on it, because most of the people in this industry work for passion.
They're underpaid. They're overworked.
Yeah, and their career, and they're probably really excited about working on a Star Wars game But then ultimately, and they probably did a really good job on what their thing was, which was the reflection in the helmet of the stormtroopers, and then they have to deal with the backlash of everyone saying their game is garbage because something is locked out because some financially minded executive said this is how the game should play out.
But but for you specifically, do you weep for a world
There's so much good stuff.
A world that will no longer have a Star Wars single player, like fair unlock system, all that
I don't know. I'm not at this point because I still feel like we're drowning in cool properties for IPs and stuff and things that I never thought would get good games, like an Arkham Asylum, an Arkham series. Things that it never occurred to me in a million years would get games that are as good as they are getting them.
That's
and
fair.
So I'll never have the time to play all of them.
Killed and then exploded.
So for me, it's like Star Wars is another thing on that list, but at some point, I guess hoping long term it'll come back around, and then all the Batman games will be Arkham City imposters with unlocks, and then Star Wars will have one really cool single player thing or whatever. I don't know. There's so much stuff, man, and they're making so many cool games that I don't need to sit around and wait for a Star Wars one.
How about you, Elise?
I get more excited for original IP. I didn't play a lot of indie games too, so I get excited for new
Indie games like
original.
Mario.
Well, there are the exceptions, but excuse me. But when's Jenny LeClue coming out? That's what I'm anticipating. That's what I'm excited for. So keep your Star Wars.
I think you bonked it off of his shield.
I spend more time firing into the back of the head of someone who is spawned in front of me or whatever.
The dude just kept strafing back and forth. Hold B.
Yeah, hold B.
Oh my
You can also
God.
hold down on the D-pad if you want to get into a third-person view. Anyway, Adam, what do you think?
I'm happy there's Star Wars games being made that don't suck. But I'm sad that they have to be this way. I do kind of miss the LucasArts days.
Yeah.
When really random shit would come out.
Jedi Knight, Dark Forces.
Yeah, I do miss the single player games that focus on kind of cool things. And you would get a random
original
Jango Fett bounty hunter game, and then you'd get like pod racing, which is like, who the hell made this? But
Don't do that in the arcade though with those controls.
I'm
You're I'm pod racing.
I'm not saying it's bad. I kind of miss those days where it's more experimental.
Yeah.
And you got some bad Star Wars games, but I feel like we've had this conversation before where I think for a licensed product, Star Wars probably had the best games for when they came out.
Yeah.
There have been so many shitty Batman games and so many shitty Superman games and all these other like licensed hero games, shitty Marvel, like some of the X-Men games are some of the worst things ever made. And Star Wars games always did really kind of unique things with flight simulators or some story about a guy who's not a Jedi being a Jedi or a pod racing thing. But then, we got that weird droid builder game and weird shit. The prequels did weird shit. So like I said, I'm glad there's still Star Wars games being made and they're being made by a AAA studio. I hate that they're being made this way.
I understand that.
Makes me sad. So I hope it gets better. We live in a wonderful time of tech and graphics and
look at all these graphics. They're on Camino right now, the fucking clone planet from episode 2, and that rain looks delicious.
This level is in the original Battlefront II, and it looks like hot garbage. And this thing is, I think it might look better than the actual prequels.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like reflections on the floor that look really cool.
I watched some clips from episode 2. The big sweeping shot of all the clones looks like a shitty FMV from 1998.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I'm torn, but I'm with you though. I think I'm going to play the single player on this, and then maybe lightly touch the multiplayer just to get that little sense of immersion. Like I like the big battles and stuff, but this is not my cup of tea.
What happened?
I don't know. I think you got hit by some kind of... it's stun grenade, maybe?
What's going on?
I think you're getting flashbanged. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
Yeah, for me, I find it fascinating, understandable, and a little bit sad to see companies just like... I know it's not this simple, but it sure does feel like they're just like, well, that made money. Let's plop it right here. Mm-hmm. And it's the barest minimum of like plugging in wires where they need to go to make these systems work together. With that, I think, James, you said it pretty well, that like the game type doesn't jive with the kind of unlocks they're trying to shove at you.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. It's a bummer to think about what Battlefront 2 could have been or what the multiplayer experience could be like. Because, man, it's cool to think about listen, everyone gets a Luke Skywalker, but maybe it's the boner Luke Skywalker from Episode 4. And if you want cool Jedi Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, you got to play Luke, like, I don't know, 10 hours or something like that. It's dumb, but... And I know that stuff has gameplay implications, like, oh, everybody's gonna play in a dumb way and try to earn points to, like, get to Luke early so they can unlock it first. But at least they're playing the game type because you get points by playing, so I don't know.
I'd like to see some innovation down the line. This is just...
Oh, man.
It's sort of a Battlefield skin.
But you sink this much money into a game, and it's not where you're going to innovate, you know?
Maybe I'm wrong, but these games are always such, like, it's just people running around. It's just ants.
Yeah.
Without the hive mind, just running around doing nonsense, and it seems like you add something like this, and now you're just encouraging more solo play nonsense garbage. Like it's just going to be more and more people hiding to try and get credits because they figured out how to min-max the currency system.
Or one guy gets a hero, and he just plays really conservatively, like running around the edges of the map, picking off, doing one-offs and stuff. Yeah.
The grenade never comes out where you expect it to come out.
Yeah, it's like way above your head, and it flies up, kind of wild.
You're like,
We're just fighting bots in this mode, right? Or is this actual multiplayer?
Well, if they have player nameplates, they're people.
It might be fake.
Look, it's the shaman. I don't know. Newt. I saw him running around earlier.
Yeah,
There he is.
These are probably fake people.
Yep.
They're
Good
kicking
stuff.
our ass. Oh well.
Well, yeah, it's a bummer. This is what games are now, though.
I like Elisa's hiccups better now.
Yeah.
let's see if somebody's tweeting at me. Any help?
Katie said she'd give you $1 if you stop hiccuping right now.
Aw.
I can't.
Oh wait, no, I got it
take
backwards.
$1.
She'll give you $1 for hiccuping again. So you may have a free $1 on your hands.
Mary Elizabeth says that I talked about hiccups and now she has the hiccups and
That's
I'm
not
a
how it
witch.
works.
Yeah.
Well, it's like yawning.
Not at all.
It's just like yawning. It's just as infectious.
Where are we at? We good?
Oh, in terms of time?
I just want to. I can go on a rant or we can move on. It's your call.
Go on a rant.
I don't want to rant.
No, do it. Oops,
No,
sorry.
go.
Shit. Fuck, I'll just do it here. I gotta pick out
You
a
can take
Hard
it if you
Nettin
want.
candidate. Keep
Oh, yeah,
forgetting
yeah.
to do this before the podcast starts.
Well, you didn't pick a hard net candidate. Hard net.
I mean, I got a list. It's not
Yeah.
hard to just pick one out of there. I try to save
That's
particular entrants for particular people.
Yeah.
If it's obvious that somebody will like something.
I forgot to ask you guys. What did you do post charity stream?
What do you mean?
'Cause we had-
You got on a plane. We
Yeah.
flew 'em.
No. I mean, what'd you do yesterday? I did the design con
yeah.
thing. You guys just chill out or what?
We did pretty
I don't
much
see
as
you guys.
little as possible. We
Yeah,
stayed
I
in our
did some
pajamas and sat
personal
on the couch.
work
Same.
I was real
Nice.
tired for whatever. I think Saturday.
Benson was real clingy yesterday.
Yeah.
Well,
He
I,
really wanted to get affection all day.
Yeah.
I just I upgraded my computer. Got a hot new
guy's good.
processor in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got 6 cores now. 8700K, baby. I can do everything with that computer. That's right. All right, I'll go with this. This one's pretty good.
Still
one.
gotta get your light level up.
Yeah, I do. I'm on the cusp. I'm 150. No, 254 or something like that.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah. Well, don't acknowledge the children. It just
no,
encourages
no,
that
just
behavior.
yeah.
Not even that. Here, I'll do one of these because they know. So you just do that. Not
Nice.
that that does anything, but
It's something.
it's something. Yeah.
Get rid of the shitheads.
One can try.
We can try. Hard netting.
Yes. So let me get out of this. Here. I think here. I'm trying to think of how to pull this up. Okay, maybe I can just search YouTube for it. All my links are in another thing.
You wish for good Star Wars.
There it is. All right.
All you guys couldn't see it, but all the related YouTube videos right now are how Chris Hemsworth got jacked for Thor.
Yeah, I wonder what
Thor
somebody
workout videos.
what somebody's
Be Like
been watching
Thor.
on this account.
I wish they just acknowledged the steroids and how great they are.
Aw.
Takes away the mystique.
Yeah.
You go. He had someone make his meals for 3 months.
Yeah.
And had a personal training for 3 months and did steroids.
It's the article they wrote for that. Jake Gyllenhaal did the workout for Southpaw or whatever when he was just looked like he's in ridiculous shape, and all the write-ups are like he did 1,000 push-ups a day and 1,000 sit-ups a day. Look at him go. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I read that in a shitty Batman comic in the 90s.
Well, that's how you became One Punch Man.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say
100.
that's a one punch.
I was like, I
deal.
don't
outta
think the
here.
human body works that way. And then there's always just the one part. Oh yeah, do steroids.
Yeah. It does if you do
Yeah.
steroids.
Well,
totally works that way.
But it's like got to be this forced ignorance, right? It's like, well, no, my trainer gives me vitamins, and they just happen to be in a syringe because they're really good vitamins. That's how they get to me right
you
away.
want it right
Yeah.
to
And so
you.
maybe the actor's like, I don't know. I have a personal trainer, and it's
I think the actor's going, they're going to pay me how much to play who? And I go on steroids?
Right.
And then you're going to take a bunch of pictures of me with my shirt off and then put me on the cover of People magazine? And
right. Well, because who was Chris Hemsworth before Thor? He was what, the dad?
He was
from
Liam's
Star Trek?
brother. That's who he was.
Was Liam somebody? Oh,
Liam
from Hunger
Hemsworth's
Games.
brother.
So,
oh yeah, sorry.
no, it's okay. Refresh my memory. Marble Olympics is still winning, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. I was freaking out there for a second. Almost got her.
Remember when we were at Universal Horror Nights and nobody could scare me?
Yeah.
Because I just give them a mean mug.
Yeah, you just need
It was
one.
great. I think
You don't have
Adam-
enough for retirement.
All right, the Marble Masters, Marble Olympics,
I
is,
think you would have really liked me at
still in the
Universal
lead
Horror
here.
As
It's
opposed
a
to here.
banner event, the opening ceremonies, the running of the
beautiful.
funnels. Wonderful. Many events stretched over multiple days, multiple weeks even, to determine the best marbles. Great little thing. We're going to put it up against Super Saiyan 3, the series.
Ooh.
Episode 3, Let the Fight Begin.
Like
Dragon
where this
Ball.
is going.
ZSS3.
Thank God for After Effects.
What is he saying?
I'm pretty sure
I'm speaking Spanish.
I can't hear him.
it
over
might be
his
Italian.
Power
Or
up.
Italian. Something that's a Latin derivative.
Why is he wearing the glasses?
Maybe I can turn on subtitles.
Oh, cool.
That's good.
This is good.
Captions again?
34,000 subscribers.
Funimation commissioned this.
But what is the channel?
Still,
Salvo La Monica.
No, I know. But what is the...
What else is on the channel?
Yeah, like what is the goal of this? Oh, he's dressed as the mask on the banner.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Here, let me just.
Is this
put that
just
over
like
here.
a comedy channel?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call it comedy. This is pretty serious.
Passion Channel.
Sorry, yeah.
So yeah, there's some
I mean,
mask.
comedy in the classic theater sense. You know, twists and turns.
Oh, there we go. Thank God
He gets extra points if he plays both characters.
I think he does.
That's
Nice.
That's a good, actually a pretty good anime wig.
Wait till the fights start.
Okay.
They're pretty intense.
That was great.
But does he have, yeah, this is a whole series, but he has other things too?
Whoa!
But he's playing both parts. Only Nick Cage has ever done that.
You notice how he did make himself smaller for Vegeta? Because Vegeta's smaller.
Yeah.
Vegeta's has small man complex.
Yes. Yep.
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 All right.
I pre-ordered Dragon Ball Fighter Z, by the way.
What are the unlocks going to be like in that game?
They
Oh!
have 8
looking at 'em.
DLC characters. There they go.
Oh!
I'm saying
That was his
Hey,
fist.
Bando, Namco Bandai or whatever, commission this guy to make your next game trailer, please.
There they go again.
Why didn't he just use an image of the
time chamber?
Time chamber. Why did he draw it himself with MS Paint?
Copyright.
Yeah. This is a. Listen, fair use doesn't protect everything, James. Despite
Yes.
what the internet will tell you.
It's funny how these just sound like Call of Duty hit markers.
Kind of. Thup, 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 thup. Oh, got him. Get out here.
Nice. Ah, but he's back. Not that easy, frozen man.
Got him.
I'm kind of into this.
I mean, yeah, this is good. I'm just trying to think. Are we just judging this one video?
It's up to you. I would like to, just for the purposes of concise judgment, maybe this one video.
But he has a whole channel of a bunch of stuff, not just Dragon Ball
Can
stuff.
I briefly
right? 'Cause
watch that mask video? Because I'm really
There's a
curious.
few of them.
Well, the one with the really good thumbnail.
one?
Yeah.
One.
Okay.
Mask
I haven't
eating the
seen
mask.
this, so I hope. Let's hope it's okay.
Okay.
That's
It's
Okay.
just him putting various things in his mask mouth.
He's reusing the animation.
There's Goku going in there,
what's with the blur?
eating a mask.
Why is there a blur in a triangle shape jutting up from his eyes
Right
through his
here.
hat? No, at the top. Like, look.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Huh.
What's that supposed to be covering?
I think that's a left. Oh, he didn't remove the mask completely. There's some sort of mask there.
Ah, that swallowing sound is really starting to get
I've done that on Photoshop before, where there will be a shape that I forgot about. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of rather do this for Hard Nettin. mask eating stuff.
I mean, this is pro.
Maybe
it's
the
part
guy's
of
channel.
his
I don't know.
channel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At
He
least
has
how your
something on
hiccup's
his
doing.
teeth,
This
unfortunately.
just doesn't speak to me.
He knows he's
As
got
much as a
something on
fan
his
of the
teeth.
mask I am.
Big old DVD.
If it was eating a DVD of the mask, then I would say,
I mean,
okay, let's talk.
It ate a mask and then it ate a DVD.
If it was a channel where every single day he uploaded this clip, but
Yeah.
it was eating something different,
That's a good point.
then I'd be like, okay, he's committed to this bit. I think this is like just a comedian, right? He's
Yeah.
just making what he believes to be funny videos
I think he's an After Effects
on the
student.
internet.
He's gonna submit this to like ILM and go,
Uh-huh.
I hope so.
"Am I hired?"
Oh, it's Mascaroshi.
So okay, what if he redid the entire series of Dragon Ball Z
That's commitment.
in his style,
Yeah, yeah.
shot for shot, but using his
That
new
would be
innovative
something.
method of using After Effects?
He is Italian. All right. I know that. That's a text template in Premiere. Nice job.
And it's a song.
So he likes. I appreciate that he likes Dragon Ball, the series Dragon Ball,
Yep.
Are you sure?
or at least admires it enough to honor it. By the way, any Super Saiyan blue hair is kind of boring, right?
I
It's
figured.
not really a great transformation.
Yeah. Come on. We've come on.
Seemed like a
There are
step,
other colors.
step backwards.
It
All
does
right.
seem like a step backwards.
Past Judgment, Marble Olympics versus Salvo La Monica in Super Saiyan 3, the series, Episode 3, Let the Fight Begin, Dragon Ball Z SS3.
No, my vote is for Marble Olympics. I
Right.
still enjoy the spirit, and
Your soul is gone.
there's a certain spirit to Marble Olympics. There's a certain wholesome nature to it that I thoroughly connect with.
Okay.
Yeah, like Adam said, maybe if he had recreated, there needs to be, there needs to be another hook to the Dragon Ball guy than this.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't feel good.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elise. You've been pummeling your insides trying to get those hiccups to go away. James, what do you think?
You know, I'm gonna. Ow! Ow! Did I get you? No.
Close,
Nothing.
close.
Nothing
I'm
does
also
anything.
gonna go Marble Olympics.
Wow, okay.
It's just a commitment to a dream. That these are the things that I admire in a hard netting, and this guy is like seems like an internet comedian who
Okay.
just like does stuff, but he doesn't have a clear voice that I can pull from it to say that he's cultivating the best of what the internet has to offer. So
What do you think, Adam?
I want to give it to Salvo just because I think it will. Hopefully, he'll see this, and this will inspire him to take it a step further. I believe in him. I think he could outpace the Marble Olympics.
Interesting.
He's also less mainstream. I think he's more of an independent. You know.
Okay.
I like
Dragon
indie
Ball's
artists.
watched by so
As
many
much as
people.
Elise claims she likes indie games, she won't support the indie artist. She goes for big marble.
I knew you were gonna say that big bullshit. Dragon Ball. How many billions of people watch Dragon Ball?
billions. You're
Billions.
right. You're right. Billions. Billions of us.
Oh, here comes the Big Bang attack.
Dragon Ball strong.
Yeah, but we close it out around the Boo saga. We don't need to do GT or Super. You close it out at Boo and we're good.
Oh, to be
That's as far
continued.
as I got.
How am I gonna see the? How am I gonna see the? Look, he even put a hair on the 3.
Hey, he's using Comic Sans.
Comic
It's
Sans.
pretty good.
Good shit. All right, well, Marble Olympics takes it, but not
Yeah,
a
of
unanimous vote. Chipping away at the lead there. Boy, that's a slow pan. Well, what an upset. What an
Clearly.
boy. I really thought Dragon Ball was gonna put up a harder fight than that. Pun intended. That'll do it for this week's Dude Soup podcast.
You'll never go to Mars.
Yeah. What?
I'm trying to scare her.
Oh. Is it working?
You will go to Mars.
Damn it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully, even though I think it's a bit of a downer that Star Wars games will probably never be the same, wait till that Battle Royale Star Wars game. Someone's got to be making it already.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
It's the world. But hey, the good news is there are more games now than ever. And depending on what game you like, you can probably find it, even if it doesn't have Star Wars on the cover.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for listening. If you're listening live, we have the Dude Soup Post Show coming right up. If you're listening maybe through the podcast feed or on YouTube, consider checking that out. But it is behind a paywall, like all good things. As Star Wars has proven to us, it is for first members only, which also allows you to watch the show live.
It'll be free eventually.
Yeah.
Unlike Star Wars. Think
If
about
you
it.
want to unlock the Hard Nettin section of Dude Soup, you have to go listen to every Dude Soup 400 times.
100 times. And only
100
then.
times.
Until
we have-
400 friends.
We have daily rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah. You must watch someone else listening to Dude Soup.
You have
then-
unlocked 1-star Elise. Hiccup Elise.
Oh, no one wants that.
Oh, gross.
Well, thanks, everybody. Again, we'll be right back if you're watching live. If not, thank you so much for joining us this week. If you enjoyed the show, felt that it raised interesting points or maybe gave you some information you didn't have before, I'd appreciate it if you recommend it to a friend or leave us a rating on a podcast app or whatever. But hey, if you don't have time for that, just listening's enough. I appreciate that too. So thank you guys. I will not leave a tweet about armchair podcast producers. I can promise you that. Unless I do.
Because you're a good community
But you know what?
manager.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, if you do, you're not talking about this podcast.
No, it was,
No.
listen, it was some other podcast, right?
It was one I did years ago.
I really wish you guys wouldn't just misinterpret my tweets. I feel bad for that guy.
I feel like if you're a community manager, maybe don't have a Twitter.
Or just,
I'm not baby. Why are you hitting me?
be
trying
very
to get it
careful about
out.
what you say.
You're not allowed to have personal opinions if you're representing a company.
Kinda.
Maybe. I don't know.
The internet being like it is, I'd say, yeah.
Maybe that only goes for games.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week, and just stay tuned for that post show if you want to.
See ya.
Bye.
As
See you in a
the
bit.
Italians say, gracias.
Salvo.
Up on the amount of people that can
Oh,
go on that
absolutely.
ride.
Right.
And there's only so many tits that can be
And
flashed.
so many times that ride can
Yeah,
run a
multiply
day.
that out,
and
too.
it's all
I mean,
mathed out.
and don't get me wrong, like there were times when like I just wasn't looking. I just didn't care because I was making $7 an hour, which was actually pretty good for back then. And I was just people would be like, "Ha!" I'm like, "Ah."
Do you ever
fuck,"
get
and
any
it's like-
dicks? People flashing